All right, so it is crunch time right now. I've got to get a couple things on the R9 and we are heading straight to Barber. So between today and tomorrow, I've got the tank grips to throw on, GPR stabilizer, I got to do the brake pads, I'm going to flush the brake fluid, oil change, and then safety tie or safety wire, the drain plug, fill plug, and oil filter. I actually did mock up the hot bodies. I guess I should have gotten it on video. I did take a picture. I got in that box, I got the hot bodies belly pan, and it actually fits well enough that it's going to work for racing. I know that there's some out there that are made just for it, but this one will, it definitely looks like it contains a lot of liquid that it needs to. The only thing that it won't work with is that kickstand, which is fine. I mean, you got to take it off for racing anyways. I'll just utilize the stock belly pan when I'm doing normal track days or riding out in the street, which hasn't happened at all this year. So I'm going to throw these on. I like to throw a little bit of heat on them just to make sure that you activate those stickiness modules in there. Molecules, stickiness molecules. And it's never failed me before. So I've used tank grip before, or now it's called Tech Spec tank grips, and they sit on there pretty well. I threw these on the R7 earlier, and yeah, they are on there real good. So let's get them on there. I've already cleaned the surface of the tank right here, cleaned it and dried it. Now I'm just going to kind of throw it in there how I feel I want it. So it's going to look good there. We'll start with this side here. We got a little bit more real estate to move forward on the tank. I'm just going to avoid this one right here when I put the bottom one, because that is a fastener right there for when we need to take some body panels off. So I'm going to try to go as low as this one as we can, while still staying on top of the decals. And it is warm, and that makes it a little bit more manageable, and it works just fine. I don't take the whole backside off. I do the decals the same way for the bike. I just take a little bit off at a time just to kind of get it where I need to. These decals do have a little bit of give on them, so you are able to stretch them out, heat them up a little bit, and it works. So, but with these grips right here, you can already tell how sticky they are, so don't really want to mess up and try to unstick it to reposition it. So that's pretty good right there. So now these do feel like they're going to grip very well on your knees. So, but on the R9, you grip more over here, so maybe once you're a little bit leaned over, you can get more up here, so we'll see. But like I said, on the R9 they felt great, or on the R7 they felt great, they look great. Obviously they don't cover up your decals, so that's what I really liked about them. That's why I wanted to go with them, and I've heard nothing but good things about them, so we're gonna go with them this year. Let's see, we got this other part down here, Stomp grip. This one looks like it goes right there. Okay. It's not going to be this way, right? Nah. So, same thing, throw a little bit of heat to it. Heat guns work great for applying decals, tank grips, as well as removing your decals, tank grips, your action camera mounts, whatever on there. Always helps to get a little bit of heat on there. It looks pretty good. Where's our little fastener down there? So this spot is a little bit different, so yeah, it's going to be great. Oh, yeah, as you can see right here, I actually didn't cut the hole out for that fastener that goes under there. Did the same thing over here on this side. If you can see, there's just a tiny little hole. So all I need to do, poke my little Allen wrench in there and just turn it. And now I got a captive fastener right there. So worked out for me pretty well. And I'll do the same thing up here. Probably a couple of other places as well. Actually, like right here, you can kind of see where there's a fastener behind that. So as I need to remove some panels, I'll figure out what it is I got to do if I got to really get it out of there. But other than that, just repeat the same thing to the other side, and there you go. You got your tank grips on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we got to jump right into the oil change. I want to get that done right away, and then we can do brakes if we have to. Finish it off later tomorrow night. Did lubricate, adjust, clean, lubricate, and adjust the chain back here. So that's why I got this little drip pan right down there. So gotta make sure that's in good shape, and then just do some final adjustments once we're at the track. Make sure double check everything's tight. Not sure off the top of my head right now what the fastener torque specs are for the front. So gonna remove the brakes, install those brake pads. I got the Vesrah XX, I think, for the front. Definitely got those for the R7. I may have gotten some different for this one, so we'll have to see on that one. And yeah, let's get to it. I've got this little vacuum right here, this little vacuum pump that I borrowed from a friend. Basically just connects up to an air line. So I've got this one stretched all the way over there to the compressor. And what that's going to do is it's going to help me just basically suck out all this fluid. So I've got this bleeder right here loosened up. It's an 8 mil. Get a little bit of light in there for you. Kind of sucks that it's kind of facing inward, so it's a little bit easier on my R7. It worked pretty good already. So the first thing that I did do was just basically clean up this whole caliper and rotor assembly. There was a lot of brake dust on there, so just help keep the job a little bit cleaner. Do that. And then I opened up the reservoir over there. I got the cap off of it, and what I'm going to do is just kind of refill it as I flush it. That way I get that old brake fluid out and I get some new stuff in there. So I got my mold tool chilling right there. That's what's going to go in. Then we'll take those rotors off, clean them up a little bit, take the pads out, and I got some Vesrah pads we're going to throw in there. And hopefully that helps us out with some stopping power. For some reason, I do feel like the R7 has got a better brake feel on the Master for some reason, which, you know, I don't know, it's got Brembo brakes on here, so you'd think there'd be a world of difference, but it doesn't feel like a whole lot, so I'm hoping this helps it quite a bit. All right, so hopefully we don't get any brake fluid anywhere. Got some rags up there, I think I showed you guys that, so for that one. And then we just pull on here, pull this little handle, and that's just going to suck brake fluid out of there. So as I'm doing that, I'm going to watch this fluid line right there. And as it goes down, I'm just going to put some more in there until we basically... Oh, probably couldn't hear any of that. So I'm just going to continue doing that until we basically get some new fluid in there throughout the line. So this already had fluid in there from like a car or something. Like I said, I borrowed it. And then it's got, you know, whatever the R7 had in there. So I'm going to do that. I'm just doing the front wheel. I'm not going to bother with the rear on this. Do that, and then I'll cut into a couple steps later. So what I've got going on up here is I basically drained most of it out of there, and I just want to make sure that I'm keeping it topped off, because I don't want to introduce any air bubbles to it. So as I fill it up, I'm gonna end up sucking more of that fluid out of there, and then just keep on trucking on. I will do a bit of a manual pump, but that'll be once I get some help with it. I'll get some, probably once I'm at the track, I'll just bring got this little hose over here that I use for the R7, because I did this vacuum flush just like I'm doing with this. And then with that one, the bleeders stick out, so I'm able to kind of hold on to the brake the brake lever right there, pump it a few times, and then release it just like I would on a car. And then, I don't know, just a little peace of mind, I guess. So I'll keep on doing this and finish it up. Since we're on this side, hopefully you guys can kind of see this. I'll try to kind of show you. So I got that on there. That's secured. This little thing I just got hanging over here. Hold the button, and it just sucks the fluid out. Kind of closed a little bit as the hose turned it, but now it's actually moving some fluid around. I don't know if you can see that, but it's getting a little bit full. I had filled this up already, and now, as you can see, it's gone down a little bit, so I'm just going to keep on doing that a little bit more, top it off, and then just until basically this thing wasn't full, I used that on the R7. Probably just go until I use it all up, and that's it. I wish I could record this while I'm doing it, but I'm just moving around. Won't get good angles for you guys, so hopefully you kind of understand what I'm doing here. I'm sure I'll do it again on another bike soon. All right, so I didn't like the feel of the brake as I engaged it. Felt a little too spongy, so I went ahead and in order to get that line right into there so I could do a manual bleed, it's easier to just take the caliper off, mount it, just put one bolt on there, and then I already did the other side. I just kind of reached around, and then as I pumped and held on to this brake lever, took my other hand, gave it the reach around, and just loosened up the bleeder. Watched it. I did see some air bubbles come out, had it all collect in here, and then tighten back up as I'm still pressing down. That way I don't have any and that way I'm not introducing more air bubbles. So I did that. It got the feeling a lot better. So I'm doing this side as well. And then don't forget, we got one up here to do. And then it's probably covered up by that towel right there, but we'll do that as well. So that's just going to be something. I didn't want to do it without the help of somebody else, but I'm already here, and it's going to be one less thing to do at the track. I'll go ahead and replace those brake pads right there. They're a little bit worn, and we'll throw some new ones on there. Dress the rotor, and that'll be it for... Oh, we still got the GPR stabilizer to throw on there. So once that's done, throw the TRS system on, and then just mount it up on the trailer, and then we're good to go. All right, so I didn't like the feel of the brake as I engaged it. Felt a little too spongy, so I went ahead and in order to get that line right into there so I could do a manual bleed, it's easier to just take the caliper off, mount it, just put one bolt on there, and then I already did the other side. I just kind of reached around, and then as I pumped and held on to this brake lever, took my other hand, gave it the reach around, and just loosened up the bleeder. Watched it. I did see some air bubbles come out, had it all collect in here, and then tighten back up as I'm still pressing down. That way I don't have any and that way I'm not introducing more air bubbles. So I did that. It got the feeling a lot better. So I'm doing this side as well. And then don't forget, we got one up here to do. And then it's probably covered up by that towel right there, but we'll do that as well. So that's just going to be something. I didn't want to do it without the help of somebody else, but I'm already here, and it's going to be one less thing to do at the track. I'll go ahead and replace those brake pads right there. They're a little bit worn, and we'll throw some new ones on there. Dress the rotor, and that'll be it for... Oh, we still got the GPR stabilizer to throw on there. So once that's done, throw the TRS system on, and then just mount it up on the trailer, and then we're good to go. All right, so this feels much, much better right here. I got a much stiffer engagement here of the brake. Like I said, it was a little too spongy earlier, so I went ahead and did basically the same method to both calipers here in the front. So you can see some brake fluid in there still, so it's nice and clear. I basically am the kind of guy who likes to brake bleed and just go and go and go, even though it's nice and solid. So if you see any air bubbles in there, you want to go ahead until you don't see anymore, until you see a nice steady stream like that. Like I said, I basically went until I used that entire, however much is in here, the brake fluid. I did split that with the R7 though, so I would recommend using that little vacuum pump basically just to drain out all the fluid in there, suck it all out of there. It's a lot quicker. So as you can see, it's quite a bit of brake fluid in there that we sucked out of there. And then just using your regular standard brake bleeding procedure, much like this, just to make sure you get all those air bubbles out and you get a nice stiff brake feel right there. So that's a lot better than it did feel before. Even before I did the flush, like I just didn't like it. So that's going to inspire a lot more confidence, especially out in the track. And then with new brake pads, even more. So I'm going to go ahead, clean all this up right there, and then we're going to go ahead and install the brake pads. All right, on to the brake pads. So I already did the other side just to kind of see what's going on. And they're not too bad. So I already got one of these out. Let's go ahead and get this other one out. Now, I didn't throw any Loctite on these bolts once I put them back in. And the other side, as I'll be going to the track, like I said, and I'm going to more than likely, let's make sure that this is nice and tight. Going to more than likely swap out this front wheel. Again, it's a little bit beat up from last time, so we'll do that. These are old brake pads right here. Hopefully you guys can see them well. We're just going to knock those out. So there's no any safety pins or anything to remove on these things. You basically just push these back enough to where these can kind of come together, and then they should slide right out. So let's see where I put my little screwdriver. All right, and basically just push them out, push them towards the middle, and then they fall right out. So there's our old pad right there. Next one. Now I'm going to go ahead and give this a little bit of a cleaning just to make sure I don't have any residual brake fluid on there from the flushing. Probably wear some gloves when you're doing this, but I'm already at it. Go ahead and clean that all up. Now, I was told that you can't just remove these clips. They're basically there just to keep the pads from making any noise. So this is a street bike kind of still, so I'll keep them in there just so I'm not thinking that there's anything going on with the bike. I think on the R7 though, I will remove them. So there's a little R clip on there. And then these pin, and then these, I don't know what the hell you would call these things, but these little brackets, take it off. You just want to make sure that you want to, you safety wire that little rod in there to keep your pads in there as well. So, but other than that, I think we'll keep it in there. Throw these new pads in there. Where the hell would I put them? Right here. So they just fall, hopefully just fall right into place. It did the last time anyway. So throw them right up in here. Now these little slots in there where each side goes into. We're a little cocked over here. Yep. So we'll do this side first. Oh, it's making me look bad. Mother. There we go. Yep, so that's right up in there. The next one, these pistons are pushed out a little bit, so the next ones will be a little bit tight. There we go. Make sure we're sitting in there good. One thing you should do as well is I did wash my hands after I did all the brake cleanup, just so you're not getting the pad material dirty. You also don't really want to touch them a whole lot, I guess. So just make sure it's all good there. And then we can go ahead, mount it back up in here. Make sure you're not scratching the crap out of everything. There we go. Caught some threads. Here as well. We'll look up those torque specs, get that all down. What I am going to do is, like I said, I'm going to lift this wheel up, spin it around, clean it, and then we are going to take a little bit of the Scotch-Brite pad right here, and we're going to basically just dress this surface right there for the new pads, and then we are donezo with the brakes right there. Don't forget to get those brake pads out, because I did push them in quite a bit, so once we roll it back on the back off of the stand, off of the lift, sorry, we'll be able to use that brake to help us stop. So it's all good there. Lift her up, clean it up, clean all this junk up, GPR stabilizer, and we are good to go. Okay, to wrap things up, I basically just lifted the front tire and cleaned everything up with some brake clean. Make sure that I don't, like I said, we don't have any residual brake fluid on there. Basically got a clean surface for everything, and then I took this little pad right here, this Scotch-Brite pad, made sure it was clean, and then I just grab onto it with a little bit of force, spin the rotor around, and then that's just going to help deglaze it. A little white wine, quarter cup if we need to, and that's going to be good. It's going to help us out seat those new brake pads on there. Tire's a little bit beat, so yeah, we probably will end up replacing that one pretty soon. Next thing I'm going to do, torque these down, and that should be it. Oh, steering stabilizer. I keep on forgetting about that. Probably not going to record that. It's pretty simple though. We just take these off, get to these bolts, pop it in. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, these are from the stock ones. So I'm going to throw that on there, and then I'll probably be it. I just running out of time here. 3:30, I got to get out of here and get everything packed up, and we'll be headed out. So make sure to get some footage for you guys at the track, and probably a little bit on the way down. I don't know if I said it before, but I did do the EvoTech radiator guard right there because it was starting to get a little bit beat up. The little things that I did do that I didn't show you guys was the oil change. So got that little wire tie right there, safety wire. So that's for the drain plug, fill plug, and the oil filter. So those are, the other ones are a little bit harder to see. Maybe on this side I don't have the, well I guess I do have the belly pin on there. So as you can see on this one, you can see where I drilled the hole. And then, well, actually I can't even see if you guys can see anything. Let me check. That's where I drilled the hole. And then this is, I just threw on some heat shrink over that wire because I ended up being pretty long. I went down to the little bolt that holds this panel back there, just so it's not scratching up on that belly, on that fill pan right there. Oil pan, jeez, can't even talk, but I think we're good there. So she's good to run. Let's torque that stuff down, and we'll see what else we record. So not promising much. All right, so I'm going to show you about as much as I can of what I've done so far. Just put this lower bracket on it here. So what that is it's just a, you take these two out right there. I believe it was a 5 mil. That comes out. It's got a little metal grommet with it. You won't reuse that. You put this flat side down, and then that's it. Pretty sure now we just throw this tank cover back on. I don't know, I got all this other junk in my hand, so we'll do that, because that might interfere with us if we don't. Those bottom bolts for that bracket were 8 foot-pounds, by the way, so no need to over tighten that. And then these right here, I believe says that it is 8 foot-pounds. Got those right in my pocket over here. So I already ran into an issue. Looks like this bracket right here. Those bolts go into the old stock clip-ons, so that's these. Since we don't have the stock clip-ons anymore, there's nothing to tighten down into. So what I'm gonna do is just take this locking nut that I found, and we're gonna throw that in there. So unfortunately, it doesn't mention that in the instructions, so if anybody was wondering why that's not fitting, that is why. We'll take this bracket right here, that goes down there. I want to tighten up from this side, so put that in there, find my bolt, fell down. believe this also is 8 foot-pounds. So it's not a lot. Go down there. No idea what the tank is right there, but it's just holding down this plastic cover. You don't have to crank on it too much. This one I do want tight, so I am going to go 8 foot-pounds with it. There we go. Now, if I'm correct, I believe these are just 4 foot-pounds, but we'll see. I'm going to throw these bolts on there, get a wrench on the bottom, tighten up the top. We'll probably go to at least 8 foot-pounds, so let me find that other one that just fell. All right, so got my tank cover, everything back on. I actually had to take it off because I remembered that little electrical, I'm sure it's for the fuel tank connector in there. I was like, did I connect that or not? So I went ahead, took everything off, all of this stuff back off, and yep, sure enough, I hadn't connected it back on. So make sure that you go ahead and do that, otherwise that would have been an issue, right? So let's see, I got those back in there, that back in there, those tightened to 8 foot-pounds. I put these, like I said, I put a bolt through there, and then I put a lock washer in there. Shows 8 foot-pounds for the stock stuff, so having that nut back there, it's a locking nut. I went ahead and took it to 15. So I did find these little covers for, well, that one's gone forever. It's right there. These little covers for the top of the screw. So go ahead and put that back in there, make it look a little cleaner. Tighten this to 8 foot-pounds as well. So 8. Go. Sweet. All right. Then we also have the pinch bolt in there. It says to tighten it to 5 foot-pounds. So I have to get a little extension on that one. And then that'll be the last of it. Okay, let's do it. All right, so we got everything loaded up. R7's looking real good. R9's in there. Got the suit, got the helmet, got the boots, and I got the gloves in there. So that's all I really need. Everything else is for convenience, basically, as far as I know. So yeah, I was hoping to get maybe a little bit more videos of the R9. Did finish everything up, made sure everything was torqued down. So we can get a little bit more light in here. So GPR stabilizer, looking pretty. This one's looking good too. I like the gold with the pink and everything, so this one looks awesome. I didn't really get much video on doing any of the work on this thing, so kind of my bad. But like I said, I have a lot of stuff to do. So got front and rear kickstands for everything, fan, pop-up canopy, extension cords. I'm gonna go fuel up right now, so I got 2 fuel jugs back there. Generator, cooler, toolbox, AC, little space heater in there. Got some extra tools in there, power tools, a couple things up there, TV of course, and I'm just ready. About to be crunch time, so I mean it is crunch time. It was crunch time a while ago. So got the trailer all good, got a spare tire for it, tires are good, the axles are greased, truck's in good condition. Just gonna go fuel up now and leave hopefully by 6 in the morning. Hopefully get around 13-hour drive probably with stops, so it's gonna be a long one, but it's gonna be a good one. I've been waiting for it for a while, so just trying to think of everything else I know. Oh yeah, I gotta pack up clothes, so I gotta pack up a lot of clothes because last time I didn't pack enough, so specifically socks and underwear. But all right, she's good.